Coming up here on the San Francisco 49ers report, the Niners sign another wide receiver after that Jordan Watkins injury. San Francisco also in the process had to make a corresponding roster move, and they lose a promising defensive end due to injury. The injuries just continue to mount up for San Francisco. Also, Deommodore Lenoir said something on the Richard Sherman podcast that I absolutely love, and it has to do with this mentality going into 2025. And will the 49ers trade one of their safeties, given there is a logjam potentially at that position when the Niners have to cut down that roster to 53 players? When a move is made by the Niners, we break it down right here on the 49ers Report. I always have you covered, so that's why you hit that subscribe button and you lock us in here on the show. All right, to that roster move for San Francisco, the Niners today signing wide receiver Malik Turner. He was one of the top wide receivers in the UFL back in the spring. Nearly made the Niners' initial 53-man roster back in 2022, and then last year he was with this team in a practice squad capacity. I've always really liked Malik Turner as a player. Has pretty good size at 6'2", 202. Doesn't really run fast, but is a long strider. He can contribute on special teams. He can come down with some contested catches. He's really competitive at the catch point. 2018 UDFA out of Illinois, where he didn't put up gaudy numbers while with the Fighting Illini, and he's really had to get it out of the mud throughout his professional career. He was one of 4 wide receivers to work out with the 49ers on Tuesday, and that's why we did that video yesterday, developing. Could the Niners sign a wide receiver? Now, I was more so talking about veteran wide receivers like Amari Cooper, Gabe Davis, Odell Beckham Jr., a player like that who I think would be able to help this team in a bigger fashion than some of these camp bodies. And I know where San Francisco's thinking is, right? Well, we don't want to necessarily pay and sign one of those players because then they have to be on the 53. And it's not like the wide receivers who are hurt right now or on this roster are going to be out for a long time. And so San Francisco is really trying to juggle that, which is why the Niners are going this route with Malik Turner. The corresponding roster move is that Bradlee Anae has been placed on IR. And losing Anae is a bummer. He led the 49ers with 3 pressures in the preseason opener against Denver. He's not the twitchiest player, but he always has a really solid pass rush plan. When he was playing in the UFL in the spring, he was the most productive edge rusher at the UFL level. Back when he was with Robert Saleh with the New York Jets, Saleh even said he thought that Anae was going to make the team, but then he tore his ACL in the spring during OTAs, and so that went out the window. And I really legitimately thought that Anae was going to have an opportunity to make this 53-man roster as a backup edge rusher, and I think he could have been productive in this scheme. In practice, there was a moment and a stretch where he had 3 would-be sacks in a row, but he is landing on IR. Yet another injury for San Francisco. Back to Turner, though. 3rd stint with the Niners, and I think San Francisco making this move partially because Turner is going to be able to come in, play with the Niners for this joint practice against the Raiders on Thursday, perhaps dress for the second preseason game against Las Vegas on Saturday, and he knows Kyle Shanahan's scheme. For Brant Boyer, perhaps Turner can impress him on the special teams front because Turner can play with that 3rd phase of the game. In 2 UFL playoff games, he went off. 269 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in those 2 UFL playoff games. He was also top 10 in receiving yards during the regular season in the UFL last year. San Francisco has shown with these injuries racking up throughout the course of training camp an eye for UFL talent. Anae, UFL guy. Turner, UFL guy. Jalen Allen, edge rusher, who's on this 90-man roster, also a UFL player. The Niners needed to make this move because they're once again thin at the wide receiver position. I'm beating a drum here, but injuries continue to happen at that position. Jordan Watkins going to be out about a month. Hopefully not that much longer with the high ankle sprain, but Kyle Shanahan said he's going to be out for a month, which usually means he's going to be out longer than that. All right, to topic number 2. Going into 2025, 49ers number 1 cornerback Deommodore Lenoir has very lofty goals. He said on the Richard Sherman podcast that he wants to be the best cornerback, not just on this Niners team this year, but in the entire NFL. And I love Deommodore Lenoir. I think that he's a dog. I really like the way that he plays the game, the mentality in which he plays with. He is also criminally underrated. He has given up just one touchdown in coverage over the last 3 years. And he has always shown a willingness to play inside if he needs to, or play outside if that's what the Niners need of him. And whether he's playing in the slot at that nickel role or he's locking it down on the outside, he is steadily producing for this Niners defense. Here's what he said to Sherman. I still feel like I don't get that respect of a person that's been in the league 5 years, who only gave up 3 touchdowns my entire career. My mindset is just being a lockdown corner. I feel like I've transitioned to this role to be this cornerback one. What's needed for a top corner is usually to shut down the best wide receiver. And I feel like I've just been ready for that and that challenge. And I made a name for myself in this league. I was just telling Robert Saleh that I'm ready for any challenge. If it's got to be 99 plays in man or 99 in zone, I'm willing to back up anything I put out there. I feel the money didn't change me. I've always had the love for the game. I've always played this game with just love and pure want to. Some people, they just wake up and they say it. But actions speak louder than words. I'm more one of them guys that just likes to work. I'd rather come in and work and prove my worth. I love that type of mental makeup from Deommodore Lenoir. And the way that he approaches the game, as I mentioned, is a big reason why the 49ers look at him as a franchise pillar, why they look at him as a building block on this defense, and why they paid him about $18 million per year. And thankfully, the 49ers finally learned that paying players early is a great strategy, because you can end up saving yourselves millions and millions of dollars given salary cap inflation, and at that cornerback position, it becoming a very vast and expensive market. If Deommodore Lenoir would have hit free agency after how he played in 2024, there would have been other bidders, and those bidders could have outbid San Francisco. But he is here for the foreseeable future for this Niners defense, and they are better because of it. More to get to here on the show, but this Niners hoodie is on sale, limited time only, and this is a fantastic deal. It was $80, now on sale for just $48. Rarely do you see a high-quality item that is on sale for this discounted price. Head to chatsports.com/Niners hoodie. That'll take it to Fanatics. Fanatics will know that Chase Sr., the 49ers Report, and Chatsports sent you. It's chatsports.com/Niners hoodie. You have to use that link to get that discount, so hop on it right now. All right, one more topic to get to here. The 49ers could have a logjam at the safety position, which brings me to this question. Will the Niners have to trade a player, and could it be their 2023 third-round pick, Ji'Ayir Brown? Malik Mustafa is going to be a starter once he comes back off of PUP after that ACL surgery this offseason. Jason Pinnock, a cheap addition in free agency. He's a long, lengthy athlete who plays really good downhill. The Niners have liked what they've seen from former second-round pick Richie Grant, who they also signed on a cheap deal in free agency. Marquis Siegel, the rookie fifth-round pick out of Kansas State, has started to get first-team reps. He could realistically start for this Niners defense in 2025 in his first year. So where does that leave Ji'Ayir Brown? Last year in 2024, he really struggled under Nick Sorensen. So far throughout training camp, he's had his struggles. When did he play his best? And who did he play his best football under? Hello, old friend. Former 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. By the way, I went back and looked at that game-winning drive for Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Play calling malpractice by Steve Wilks. But he is no longer the Niners' problem. He is now the new defensive coordinator for the New York Jets, and the Jets could have a need at the safety position. Steve Wilks is a guy who's been known to really like Ji'Ayir Brown. In the pre-draft process, he was pounding the table, saying, take the safety out of Penn State. And I'll say this, I really like Ji'Ayir Brown coming out of Penn State because he was a very smart player who played with a lot of feel, but the Niners could elect to just move on and cut bait. So if San Francisco wants to get value back for a safety, And for a player who they would otherwise cut, where you wouldn't get any value, the New York Jets could be a logical destination for Ji'Ayir Brown. Let's remember this and keep an eye on that safety spot as we get closer to 53-man roster cutdown day. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram. On X, I'm at 16,400 followers. On Instagram, approaching 40,000 followers. I'm putting up so much Niners content over there on my social media platforms, in addition to always talking Niners here on YouTube.